Everyone, and welcome again to Sessions. This is Sessions number 5. And we have this is going to be a really fun episode today. We're here with Charlie Forsgren. He's
Hi, everybody.
the owner proprietor for Cruise Planners, and we're going to talk about travel. Everyone loves to travel, but for many years, people, it was a thing to have a travel advisor, a travel agent, and now you don't hear it as much, but
Yeah.
I know there is still a big need for this service, and it can really be invaluable to your travel plans, itinerary, and budget and everything. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Um, Charlie, go ahead. Let's hear what
Thanks
you
for having me. I appreciate it. I kind of found my way here about a year and a half ago now, to the travel agency as a business. Cruise Planners, it's a franchise, so it started back in the 90s when travel agents were more common, brick and mortar kind of a thing, and we were focused just on cruises at that time. Now it's full service, any kind of travel, land-based or otherwise, or cruise-based or anything, tours, in fully independent travel, whatever. And yeah, I used to work in production, and so that's a bit of a mess in California right now.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I was looking for something to do. I also, in addition to long days, I had long commutes, and so I was missing a lot of family time and things like that. And so I was looking for something to do, and I kind of came across Cruise Planners, which is a wonderful company. They kind of help set you up with the technology and the marketing and things like that. And so I decided to jump into this. Um, and uh, and yeah, it's a interesting time to travel. There's so many. The world is so close, but sometimes it feels far away also, And so, um, and and the internet is a wonderful tool, obviously, but it can also be a bit overwhelming. It's like there's so many different categories and so many different companies, and they're different experiences, right? And so, if for let's take the cruise business, for example. If you're which cabin do you get? Do you get interior? Do you get balcony? Do you get those kinds of things? And then also, which cruise line is right? Are you an adult couple? Maybe you want to go on Virgin, which is just adults, or maybe you're a Disney family, which obviously is Disney, or, multi-generational, where like, you want a little something for everybody, which is, can be anything, but Royal Caribbean is excellent at that, right? And
Oh,
so trying to help people find the right vacation because we're so busy. And let's face it, it's not cheap most of the time to go on vacation. And so you want to be there and not worried, well, why did I pick this kind of a thing, or stressed, um, I provide support. I had clients that were on the way to the airport and have called me and said, my flight's been canceled. They want to put me on a plane tomorrow, but I'm going to miss my ship or whatever. And, you
yeah.
know, they're literally in a car on the way to the airport. And so, obviously that's a bummer, but I can then help immediately. I pull up my computer and I find a different flight for them, and we get them, hopefully, this, and when it has happened, I've been able to get them on other flights, and saved that day of vacation, or that travel day, which in effect saves a day of vacation. And so, um, the other thing is, I'm like one of the few free luxuries. Like, we're commission based, so I don't charge my clients an additional fee. I take whatever they're booked, then that's how I get paid, is off of commission. And so it's kind of a way to get some concierge level service without having to pay the concierge prices. So that's kind of, yeah, you know, the internet is great for looking. I'm here for booking, right?
Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
almost seems like a no-brainer. So if someone calls you and it's just
Yeah,
whatever that retail is, of course, it's a good, great advantage for the cruise lines because they're getting someone that actually knows what they're doing
yeah.
when you're calling the book and not asking the 50 bazillion questions and taking up time
Right.
from.
Right. We also have some, oftentimes we'll have cruise planners exclusives, which maybe it's $100 onboard credit, or maybe it's free prepaid gratuities or
Oh,
something like that that you're just not going to be able to get on your own. And then oftentimes cruise planners um, they'll pull group bookings as soon as they're put on the market. They grab a block of cabins, and so we have access to those. That's locked in the price. So if the price has gone up, we've got access to that inventory where, because they put cruises on the market 2 years before, they're
oh,
sailing. So you could book a summer 28 cruise right now if you wanted to. And
and
so
you're
cruise
locked in.
planners has pulled blocks of rooms for those ships. And so, that price as the ship fills up, that price is going to go up, but cruise planners block of rooms is locked in at a certain price.
Ah,
So
okay.
those kinds of advantages are with travel advisors. And I get it. It's fun to book a vacation, right? I was always that guy that did all the research, but I have a logistics mind, and it was just fun. But at a certain point, it becomes a job, right? And everybody already has a job that they're trying to get away from. So, let us help you take a little bit of that stress and confusion away, especially like in a group situation. If you're traveling with the grandparents and maybe the adult kids, a couple of adult kids and their families, and rather than one person trying to arrange everything and collect money and make sure that everybody pays when they're supposed to and things like that, it can all go through me. And then I have the systems to help with that. And so that's where I benefit people, I think. So
Very good. Very good. I that's interesting to know, and especially what's great, people that booked out their travel, like right now with the changes in fuel prices, we can
yeah.
probably see where that's impacting, but it's like, ooh, I bought this a year and a half ago.
Yeah, yeah, they're happy. They won the gamble.
Uh,
It rarely goes the other way, especially with the cruises are a lot of the cruises are operating at near full capacity, right? There's a lot of rooms out there, a lot of cabins available, a lot of new ships coming on the market,
mhm.
but it's a booming time when people it's a quick getaway, especially like there's the drive markets, right? A lot of places you can go and get on a ship without having to get on an airplane.
Yeah.
We have a great opportunity. A lot of ships go down to Mexico, out of LA and Long Beach and even San Diego. So just a short drive down the coast, and you can visit Catalina, of course, is a big spot, but so is Ensenada and Cabo, and Puerto Vallarta has been a little bumpy lately, but it's
No,
it's gonna be back and just fine, and so it's a nice little getaway. It doesn't take You can do it without taking too many days off, and you don't have to get on an airplane, which is nice. So
yeah. And I bet they love that too because we're such a huge market here. You have,
yeah,
the so many large metropolises here,
yeah,
even here in
yeah.
Huntington Beach. I mean, we're what, 200 some thousand people or
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I saw a report, and it was talking about the Caribbean, but they were talking about how Ontario Airport is like the number two airport for the cruise line that was reporting of where they're passengers were coming from.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, it's there's a lot of people, and of course, we're just, if you do get on a plane, we're a short flight up to Seattle or Vancouver to go
Okay.
to Alaska in the spring. And in the fall, when those ships are repositioning out of Alaska, there's opportunities for some unique itineraries as well. A lot of them go back and forth from the to the Caribbean from Alaska, and so there's opportunities for the Panama Canal and things like that that would
Yeah.
be out of LA or to LA, right? You could fly to Florida and hop on a ship, take a 10-day cruise and get off at LA. And so and be home again and see some kind of location, some ports that you don't necessarily get to see. So
Wow. Yeah. That's that's quite interesting. I didn't think about like because obviously in the dead of winter they're not really doing the Alaska stuff, but
no, it's just really
yeah.
it's just kicking off. I was on a celebrity ship last week doing a ship tour, which is basically they walk you around and show you the cabins and the common areas and
Hmm.
feed you lunch and stuff like that. That ship, yeah. So it was sailing up. It was on a repositioning cruise. So that particular trip was gonna go down to San Diego and then up to San Francisco and then drop off up in Vancouver, I believe.
Hmm.
And then it was going to do its season in Alaska. And
Okay.
then in October-ish, late September, early October, Alaska season kind of ends. And so then the ships reposition. There's a couple that go over to Asia. There's a couple that go back to the Caribbean. So
Okay.
yeah, but none of them stay up there. It's just that's why Alaska is such a booming season, is because it's so
It's
compact.
so
And so if
tough.
you want to go, you got to go when the when the ships are there.
So
So
is it like June to October
and,
or
it's starting right now. Yeah, so May. So there may be some like late April, and then it's into September, late September, early October. But those, April and mid-May is the shoulder season, and September and October are the shoulder season because it's colder. They bring in a lot of people to run the tours and things like that,
yeah.
just because there's not a lot of people that live in those cities. There's kind of smallish towns and stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and then the weather can be great at any time during the season, but it tends to be most comfortable in like July, August. Plus, it's like 20 hours of daylight, which is kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
so.
That's
It's kind of fun to experience that if when you don't live in that, in that world, just to be like, oh, it's 10 o'clock and look how bright it is still.
that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so name that one or two times where it's like ex periods or times where that really stand out where you just like, ah, here I am to save the day, and then like you really knocked it out of the park.
Well, I just a couple of weeks ago, I had a client who he had booked a cruise, not with me, but he had booked it on his own, and he called me and he said, "Hey, this got canceled, um, and but we have the week off, and so we've decided we want to go to Hawaii." I said, "Okay." He said, "Yeah, we're driving back from Palm Springs. We want to go to Hawaii tomorrow." I said, "All right." And so I was able to get him airfare and a lovely hotel in Maui, and then I also booked them tours, and I got them a Jeep to drive around the island, and they wanted to do all that stuff. And so there was a tour every day. They went on a catamaran dinner cruise, and they went snorkeling, and they went ATVing, and all those kinds of things. And literally, it was about 12 hours from the time I booked. He called me until they were getting on the plane to go to Hawaii then the
That's
next
so
day.
cool. And
And
it's yeah, that's yeah, a lot of people I guess just don't think about it. I don't think I'd used anyone in oh gosh, like 30 plus years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
just kind
I
of
honestly, yeah. I was looking around for franchises and I came across cruise planners and I got excited about it because I'm passionate about travel. But then that was a question I had. I was like, that was my next Google search. Do people still use travel agents? And
uh-huh.
I think I found that there's definitely there's two camps. There's camps that are like firmly independent, and then there's the folks that do like the service and the partner and having somebody to work with them. And it's not just like my parents' generation. It's
Right.
it's into the Gen X's and because they want to be pampered a little bit, and then also the younger folks, right? The kids that are just out of college um and they're just busy, right? And they also see the benefit, they understand the benefit of using a service and that kind of stuff. And so it really comes down to just what you're most comfortable with. And then
Right.
yeah, there are definitely times in addition to the booking, like the other thing that popped to mind when you asked about being the hero is I had a client who unfortunately tripped and fell and broke her knee and needed help. It was like first day of the cruise, right?
Oh
And so
no.
um and she needed help to get back to her home. And so, I was able to, and then also to work with the cruise line. She didn't, obviously she's dealing with a broken knee in a hospital. She didn't want to call the cruise line and let them know and cancel the excursions and things like that were lined up. And so, rather than having to deal with that herself, she gave me a call, and I was able to help with that and be of assistance in those kinds of situations. So,
Mhm.
so that was another time recently I had with the issues that were in Puerto Vallarta. I had clients calling me asking, talking about they were going to Cancun and wanting to know what my thoughts were. And we checked the State Department's website to see what their thoughts were. And we I kind of monitored the situation and things like that and helped them decide whether it was right for them or not. And by the time they were going on their trip, it was everything was calm, and they went and were good to go.
Uh-huh.
And then the last thing is that came to mind was I will check prices on vacations, and if they drop, oftentimes I can either rebook it at the lower price or get a credit that can be used at either the resort or the cruise. And so that's something that I do that the client doesn't have to do for themselves if they
Right.
themselves, because there is some price fluctuation. And especially, well, uh it happens once in a while. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it
Okay.
does, you can take advantage of it. And either, like I said, there's a couple options. You can upgrade, which is a nice option for the same price, or you can get a little onboard credit, or if it's outside of the final payment, they'll usually reprice and give you the lower price. So,
Oh, okay. Good,
yeah.
good to know. So, your top three places to travel yourself. It's like at the drop of a hat. Where do
Yeah.
you go tomorrow, if you could?
That's a tough one. It really is. Some of my favorites have been, international locations. I really enjoyed Australia.
Hmm.
Um, there's just such a diversity of places, whether it's scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef or Sydney or the Outback or any there's just a lot to do, right? It's almost impossible to do it in one trip. And so I really love that. I had an amazing couple of weeks in Japan. It's a great place to go visit. And then, of course, Europe is a favorite of mine as well. And then, here in the States, there's a lot. There's a lot, right? There's Alaska is definitely, I would encourage everybody, if you haven't been there, to go up. It's just amazing. It's beautiful. Um, it's something we don't get to see every day. Um, and I also like to go for a long weekend. My son and I go to different Major League Baseball cities and go see a game. And it's a great way to get to see the town. We don't necessarily do like the big touristy things, but we go and we find a place near the ballpark, and um, we go and we see a couple of things, and we see a game, and we have dinner, and it's a great way to take a break and see the country that we're fortunate to live in. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. I took some notes because my wife and I we've been talking about Alaska, and
Yeah.
it's a place we haven't been, and it's interesting too. Like with Hawaii, being here in Southern California, it took forever for us to go
Mm.
because you're like, oh, it's right there. Oh, it's right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
we go to Central America for our honeymoon. We've been, just all over the place.
Yeah.
And oh, we really need to go to Hawaii. So we finally went there back in 2018. So I think that's gonna be
That's awesome.
on a
Yeah,
list. Yeah.
we've been a few times. I really love it too, because the islands are so different also, right?
Hmm.
They each have uh their different personalities, the different things to do, different feel for the vacation. And so that's, you kind of want to, and they're close enough, you can island hop, you can
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
3 days one, 3 days the other, so yeah, it's great. And it's just the East Coast people kind of joke about how Californians, it's we're spoiled because we have Hawaii just right there. We don't have to.
We are.
We can just drive to the airport, and later that day we're in Hawaii. So, on the East Coast, it's like a hop to here and then a hop. It's still amazing when you think about it. It's just, we can be anywhere in the world in a day,
Yes.
and it hasn't been that long. It used to take months to just cross the United States, and
Oh, yeah.
let alone getting on a ship in England and sailing over to the East Coast, and taking a month or whatever, hoping you make it.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
now one of the things that I'm excited about, I'm a personal goal. I want to step foot on all the continents, and so expedition cruising is like, that's my eye. My wife's always like, what did you when I was doing this, when I first started, she's like, what did you learn today? I said, I learned that there's lots of places I want to go. And and these cruises to like Antarctica and the Galapagos Islands, and those kinds of amazing journeys that um I can't wait to get on and experience those. So
that's fun. It's great. Something
yeah.
to be really passionate about. It doesn't feel like it's really work, that whole logistics,
Mhm.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
and
Well,
just solving problems.
yeah, and the thing about, well, it's true. I'm very fortunate because there's a lot of people that work physically very hard, or they're working 100 hours a week, and it takes and my work is helping them have fun, and escaping it all, and talking about, the things that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives, or their kids, the core memories that they're going to have with their kids in the future,
Mhm.
and so I'm very fortunate in that. That's one of the reasons why I picked what I picked. um I had thought about like a pizza franchise or something like that,
Yeah,
because that makes a little more, that to me, that make you build it, you stick out a sign, you open the door and people show up,
yeah,
and you're in business. This is a little bit, you gotta hustle and find clients and let people know you exist,
yeah,
and talk to them, and hope that there's a connection there, and because people can, like you said, book, they can book themselves, they can go to Costco,
yeah,
um and there are other options, and so that's kind of, I just want to, I try and approach everybody as like just the special person, and they, I don't know if that makes sense. That's I just try and make it as wonderful of an experience as possible, because I kind of, the vacation starts here, right? So
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like people don't realize they need you until they have you, and it's just like, what was I thinking? Kind of like that
yeah,
example you
yeah, well,
used
that's what I hope, and then
with the
and then
guy
they tell.
driving, and he's like, "We want to go tomorrow." I mean, for somebody like me, oh gosh, that's like 2 evenings or 3 evenings of trying to plan the thing
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
all of the things out.
yeah,
Yeah, right
which is
on.
fun, but it
So,
can be overwhelming,
mhm,
and it's nice. You can say, if you have more time to plan, obviously you can say, well, I want to go to Hawaii. And it's like, okay, well, then we start talking about, what do you want to do? What do you like? Are you a big food person?
yeah,
You have a luxury resort, or do you want to have like a Airbnb condo type
right,
situation? All of those things are different for everybody, and everybody's ideal vacation is kind of different. So.
very cool. So, someone wants to connect with you. I'm gonna share the screen here real quick. Has your information. So,
Great.
uh, someone wants to work with you. Your cruiseplannersoc.com.
Yep, cruiseplannersofoc.com. That's
All
right.
right. And feel free to reach out to me if you can't find them, because I can. Well, man, this was so informative. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
hopefully
This is a
you
wonderful
may have
series
actually
you've got.
found
So.
gained a new client too. I'll tell my wife about it. She'll be, see, let's go to Alaska.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what I love it. So I think anytime, give me a call. So
Sounds good. Right on. You have a great rest of your day. And
thank you, Gene.
all right, everyone, happy travels.
Thanks, Charlie.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.